Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Good night, good morning, good afternoon to you, wherever you are. A beautiful shout out to you here in St. Kitts and Nevis, those in the Leeward Islands, extending to the OECS, the Caribbean, and hey, while we're at it, let's take in the whole entire world. Welcome to another edition of On the Ball here at WINNFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills. I'm your host. This is the third edition of On the Ball, and it is being sponsored by Cayenne Jet. This is a private jet terminal located at the RLB, Robert Llewellyn Bratcher International Airport, Bastille St. Kitts. We are a 5-star private air terminal providing luxury services and a relaxing environment for guests arriving to and departing from the beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our exclusive state-of-the-art terminal is available to passengers of private and commercial jets. Relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while your immigration and baggage requisites are being addressed. And it's actually an effortless airport luxury where you can enjoy the one-of-a-kind boutique airport service that you can only find on the thrilling islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. While our chefs serve up island specialties, thrilling islands, you can relax in our luxury lounge with its stylish blend of local and contemporary decor. Most of all, you can lose yourself in the nothing too much trouble service for which Cayenne Jet is well known. From immigration formalities to dining reservations to private jet charter, our attentive and intuitive concierge team takes care of every single little detail. So really, all you have to do is, ladies and gentlemen, is just shop, and everything else will be done for you. You will be taken care in first-class environment by first-class people, and I am certain that you'll enjoy to the max. It's another edition of On the Ball here on WINNFM 98.9, our third episode. We started on the 10th of October. And when we started, as a matter of fact, I have very good news for you. Two good pieces of news. When we started, the program started on Tuesday, 1 hour, 7 to 8. And it was on at every other week, alternately. So first program, the 10th, and then the 24th. And guess what? Tonight is our third episode. And as of tonight, two things will happen, two major changes. The program is going to be a weekly program every week on Tuesdays. That's one change. And secondly, we have doubled our time. We have gone from 1 hour to 2 hours. So On the Ball, tonight it's going to be a 2-hour program. And it's going to be every Tuesday. So the next edition will be next week, Tuesday, God's Spear. And we thank the management of WINNFM 98.9 as well as the board of directors for ensuring it that we are able to keep you on the ball with the latest and up-to-date local, regional, and international sporting news in any discipline in the sporting arena. Tonight, we're going to drop a little piece of golf on you. We're going to talk some football. We may very well touch a little piece of cricket, a little piece of track and field, that is. But the main item tonight is about cricket. All kind of cricket happening right now in St. Kitts, in the West Indies, in the world, actually. Cricket is all over. And we're talking the Keith Atherton T20 cricket here in St. Kitts, which is being put on by the St. Kitts Cricket Association. We are talking about the CG50 Insurance Male Super 50 that's going down in Trinidad and Tobago. We're talking about the World Cup, and we still have West Indies female A team touring Pakistan. And that's really exciting me because a young lady down there, she's from SP where the best be. And of course, I suspect you know where that is, Sandy Point in St. Kitts. And she had a beautiful performance there, picking up 4 wickets. It was awesome. We say congratulations to her. And I think her mom and her dad, they are the proudest set of people, individually or collectively, in the world because the performance of Jazara Claxton, 17 years old. So she's just getting off, and this is her second tour with the West Indies. The first one was earlier this year when she went to South Africa with the West Indies on the 19. She's now with the West Indies A, and who knows, she'll step up. But let us get cracking with our information. In St. Kitts, we have 6 different sets of football happening. What is football? What are we into with football? And where are we? Let us go to the primary school football competition, which is sponsored by Jones Limited. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they decked out all the teams with uniforms. So we must say congratulations to the Jones Limited for coming on board and sponsoring football in a very, 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 very big way. Because we know uniforms are expensive. And these competitions are put on by the Department of Sport. So we must say congratulations to Mr. Jeffrey Pedro, who's the Director of Sport, and his Deputy Director, Mr. Dexter Tyrrell, and all the staff there at the Department of Sport for putting it on together. And now if we go down to take a look at match day 3, and that was day before yesterday. Newton Ground Primary, they defeated Edgar Timoris 3-1 down at Newton Ground. Tariq Richardson, he netted twice, and Aiden Prentice scored the lone goal. Well, he assisted with the lone goal. Nayari Harris, he scored the lone goal for Edgar Timoris. The Angostura Chill player of the match, and I like that. And we must say congratulations to CNC for coming on board and sponsoring the player of the match through their product Angostura. Tariq Richardson of Newton Ground Primary School. Keon Primary School and Dr. William Connor, Keon out of Green Valley, Dr. William Connor out of Champsville, according to some people. Champsville, and I think with some degree of credit. Dr. William Connor, they played a 2-all draw. Andre Flaherty and Judah Prince, they netted for Keon Primary School, while goals came from Kimian Amory and an own goal scored by Keon Primary School accounted for the 2 goals for Dr. William Connor Primary School. The Angostura player of the match, Andre Flaherty from Keon Primary School. And there are 2 models of this. There's a model where you have, 3 models actually, where you have a player of the match for Team A and the player of the match for Team B. And that's the end of it. That is one model. And then you have the other model where you look at the 2 players and then you determine which one of those 2 players would be the fitter one to be the MVP of the entire game. So that's another model. Or this is a third model they're using where they just select an MVP. Whatever it is, however it's done, it's very important. And again, we say thank you to Angostura Chill. In Dieppe Primary School, they edged Irish Town Primary 2-1. Marcus Warner and Jevian Bradshaw, they bombed the net for Dieppe Primary. Anel Archibald, he scored the goal for Irish Town, and Marcus Warner of Dieppe Primary School, he was the Angostura Chill player of the match. Down Key West in Vochilds, Tucker Clark Primary School, they took care of business against Violet Primary School. As a matter of fact, they didn't take care of business really. They mishandled and manhandled Violet Primary Petty School 10 goals to nil. 2 handful, as we'll say. in local parlance. Antonio Prescott, he had a double brace, 4 goals. Tally Walters had a hat-trick, which is 3 goals. Valje Dominguez, Shaquan Allen, and Fahim Cave, they scored 1 goal each for Tucker Clark. And I think you will guess who would be the Angostura Chill player of the match, Antonio Prescott, who scored 4 goals of the Tucker Clark Primary School. Tyrrell Williams, they almost did the same thing. To Tyrrell Williams Primary, that is, and that is out of the Virchilds region. They almost did the same thing to the Dateby Primary School, but they fell too short. 8-0. Tyrrell Williams. Jamari Lewis, he scored a double brace again, 4 goals, with Josiah Drew and Kurt Finch each scoring a brace, which is 2 goals. The Angostura Chill player of the match, Jamari Lewis of the Tyrrell Williams Primary School in St. Peter's. And you realize these games are spread throughout the island. They're not concentrated at one venue, which is very good for the development of football and players and things like that. Dean Glassford Primary School and Maurice Hillier Memorial Junior School, they played to a very entertaining 2-2 draw. Troy Mills, oh no, sorry, not Troy Mills. It is Troy though. Troy Shiwamba. Well, anybody named Troy, you know, they have to have some skill and talent. And Kejon Brown scored for Dean Glassford Primary School. The goals for Maurice Hillier came from Kavion Simmons and Kakmari Williams, the Angostura Chill player of the match. Kakmari Williams of Maurice Hillier Memorial Primary School. And if I'm not mistaken, the Maurice Hillier Primary School, that's the school up at Victoria Road, the Epworth School as it was called. And down in SP, where the best be, Sandy Point Primary School. These guys, they need to behave, you know, man. They took care of business against ICCS, that's the Immaculate Conception Catholic School, formerly called Convent, which would have merged with the St. Joseph. 6-0, they gave them a half a dozen. Janalji French and Jarrell Bowie, it only took 2 of them to do the trick. And it's a hat-trick, actually. And the Angostura Chill player of the match, Janalji French of the Sandy Point Primary School, he had a hat-trick. I wonder if he speaks French, by the way. I have to find out. And we say congratulations to them. Match day 4, Wednesday the 8th, November. That will be tomorrow. And they had some games in the park. Today, I think it was the high school. Yesterday, they actually had some primary games. And I was watching some of these. I watched last week. I watched a bit today. I watched a bit yesterday. And I'm very much impressed with the turnout, the spectators. The students are coming, the parents are coming especially. The teachers are coming as well. And they are supporting. And boy, I wish them teachers wish they could have gone on the field and really play. But they're getting involved. And the children, they are enjoying themselves. They're having fun. Some development is needed in quite a few cases. Because obviously some of these children are a little more natural than others. So, but the coaches are working with them, the coaches of the Department of Sport, and I must say a big congratulations to them. In terms of tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th, God's Spear, match day 4. George Moody Stewart Primary will be taking care of Irish Town Primary, and that game is in Boyd's at 3:30 p.m. At 4:30 p.m. in Boyd's, Bronte Welsh Primary will host Dr. William Connor Primary. And in St. Paul's, Keon Primary will be engaging Dateby Primary. And Dean Glassford Primary will also take on Edgar T. Morris at 3:30 p.m. And the St. Paul's Primary versus Newton Ground Primary. And the Tyrrell Williams Primary versus Joshua Obadilla Primary. Those games will happen at 4:30 p.m. So they're playing 2 games. Actually, for the primary school, what they're doing, they've split the field, at least the park, into 2. So 1 game is being played on each half. So for all 4 teams, they are playing simultaneously. And in Warner Park, Beach Allen Primary and Morris Hill Primary will do battle at 3:30 p.m. And then Sandy Point Primary will lock horns with Tucker Clark Primary School at 4:30 p.m. That's the information in terms of the Jones Limited Primary School football competition, which is being organized and hosted by the by the Department of Sports. And actually, the Joneses, they are sponsoring the high school competition, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank, they are the sponsors of the primary school. So we say congratulations to the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank for coming on board and sponsoring the primary school primary school football. And National Bank, as they're colloquially called, they are no strangers to the sponsorship of basically everything in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially in the sporting arena: football, track and field, basketball, netball. And here they are sponsoring the primary school. So we encourage you, the parents, to go on out, especially the dads. Especially the dads, because the moms are outnumbering the dads at these games. So we encourage you to go on out and support the children. Go on out and encourage them. And some of the parents, especially the mothers, why everybody coaching you? And they're going on bad, and you could see the mothers, some of the time they're kicking the ball, and the son going, kick, yes, kick it. And the leg or left foot now, and then one of them or two of them fall down. But it's all in the excitement and the fun. And we thank the employers for giving them time off to allow them to go and support the children, because, hey, these are the Atiba Harrises and the Keith Kayamba Gums and the Gerard Baby Williamses of tomorrow. So congratulations to them again. And that is coming from the Department of Sports Primary School Competition. And we're going to be having some more information, some more stats for you in a subsequent performance, in subsequent programs: who leading, who's this, who have how many goals, etc., etc. So we encourage you. And again, my name is Troy Biff Mills. I'm your host. And just in case, my number is 668-2055 if you want to send a WhatsApp to me. If you're not in St. Kitts and Nevis, then you dial 869-668-2055. You're listening to On the Ball here on Win FM 98.9 with me, Troy Biff Mills, your host. And it is sponsored by Cayenne Jet. And we say a very big thank you to Cayenne Jet for coming on board. It's located at the Robert Llewellyn Bratcher International Airport. And Cayenne Jet provides a total focus on your needs with the elegant simplicity of a single point of contact for your travel demands. Our commitment to the highest levels of service, safety, and convenience is unmatched in private aviation. Our private lounges are known for their discerning clients who relish the state-of-the-art terminal for both its privacy and the ability to relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while their immigration and baggage requisites are being taken care of. Always a warm welcome from the team. Always a warm welcome from the team. And in terms of the reviews from the pilots, this is what the pilots are saying. Cayenne Jet has always been the top choice for pilots who prefer advanced slot planning that focuses on their clients' schedule. Cayenne Jet's consistently seamless service is of the highest discretion, making it the first choice for scheduled departures and arrivals. Cayenne Jet provides the assurance of operational and weather monitoring, while pilots enjoy the first-class facilities in their own discreet private lounge. So we say a very big thank you and congratulations to Kai and Jet for coming on board and sponsoring On the Ball. And of course, you can become a partner. You can become a sponsor of On the Ball. You give us a call at 466-9586 here at WinFM. And our sales and marketing team will definitely be able to meet with you and discuss a plan that will suit your budget. It's all here on WinFM 98.9. And it is On the Ball, where we keep you informed with local, regional, and international news. And if we step across now, before we step across, we actually have some results for you in the primary schools. Actually, we would have read this information. It's the match day 8 and the results that we would have had. So we move on. But what we can tell you, we could give you the points tables. There are actually 4 zones. Zone 1, and this is the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank Primary School. In position number 6 at the bottom, Bronte Welsh, they've played 2, and they're yet to get a point. They've had 2 losses. They've scored no goal at the moment. However, they have conceded 14 goals. So they have to tighten up. They actually have to tighten up on their defense. And they are in 6th slot. And remember, this is zone 1. In zone 2, George Moody, they are in 5th position on goal difference. They've played to lost all matches. They've given up 6 goals, and they have a goal difference, obviously, of 0. 4th, Champsville, they're not doing too well. Dr. William Connor Primary School, they've won 1, they've drawn 1, they are in 4th. They've scored 2 goals, had 2 goals scored against them. They have 3 points. Keon Primary School out of Green Valley, they've played 1-1, and they've also lost 1. They, however, have scored 7 goals, had 5 scored against them. So they have a goal difference of positive 2, and they have 3 points. They are in 3rd. In 2nd, Deepbe Primary School, playing 2, winning all, scoring 7 goals, not giving up any. They have 6 points. Irish Town Primary School, what is happening here? I'm wondering if this is a typo. I don't think it is. But Irish Town, they are very aggressive in front of goal. They've played 2 matches, won 2 matches. They've scored 14 goals so far. And these guys are tight and stingy. Not as stingy as Deepbe, but they've given up only 3, so they have a goal difference of 11. They have 6 points, and that is in zone 1. In zone 2, we have 6 teams here. Morrisselia Memorial, they've lost both games. Not touching the net, giving up 10 goals. They're in 6th. Dean Glassford Primary, that's out of St. Peter's, they are 5th. They've drawn 1 and lost 1. They've scored 3 goals, given up 14. They have a goal difference of 11, and they have 1 point. St. Paul's Primary School. Hey, am I seeing right? St. Paul's Primary School, they're normally in the thick of things. But it may be early days yet. They are 4th. They've played 2 games, drawn 1, lost 1, scored 5 goals, had 6 goals scored against them. So they have a difference of -1, and they are on 1 point. On 3 points in 3rd position, Newton Ground Primary School, by virtue of winning 1 and losing 1, scoring 10 goals in the process, and having 6 goals scored against them. They have a goal difference of 4. In the 2nd position, out of the East, Edgar T. Morris Primary School, they've won both their games, scoring 5 goals and giving up 2. They have a goal difference of 3. They are on 6 points and leading the tables in the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Primary School Championship in Zone 2. Beach Allen Primary School, they've won both matches, But these guys have been hammering teams, man. They have 17 goals. And they're only giving up 2. They're very stingy. So a lot of things are keep up front and a lot of things are keep on now, keep in the back. And they have a goal difference of 15 with 6 points. And we go down now to zone number 3 in the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank Primary Schools. Violet Petty, that is out in the Lodge region. I don't think Trent would know where that is. He's my technician, my engineer on duty. Trent is pointing down in the Old Road section. They've lost the 2 games they've played. They have some consolation. They've scored 1 goal. They've given up 11, so they have a difference of minus 10. Sadler's Primary School, they've lost the only game they've had, 6-1, and they have a goal difference of minus 5. Immaculate Conception Catholic School, they've won 1 and lost 1. They've scored 3, given up 12. They have a goal difference of 9. They're on 3 points in 5th position. Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary School, that is in Molyneux, right, Trent? Or that is down in New Ground. That is in Molyneux. And they have won 1 of their 2 games, lost the other. They've scored 9, had 5 scored against them. They have a goal difference of 4. They are on 3 points in 4th. Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary School. And I have to check the young lady who sent this information to me, because this has to be a typo. Oh, I could understand. It's not a typo. Sandy Point Primary School in 3rd position with 3 points. They've only played 1 game. And they have scored 8 goals in their 1 game. And they have been stingy at the back. They haven't conceded any goals. They have a goal difference of plus 8. They are 3rd in 3 points. Tucker Clark Primary School, that's out of the East, the Newtown region. They've won 1, drawn 1, on 4 points in 2nd, scoring 6 goals, giving up 5. They have a goal difference of 1. Tyrrell Williams Primary School, and that is out of the Virchilds region, Key West. My. These guys going on bad. They've won 1 game. They've drawn 1. They have 4 points. But these guys are slaughtering teams. They've scored 13 goals and they've only given up 11. So they've only given up 2, pardon me. They have a goal difference of 9 goals. And this may come in at the end. We never could tell. It may very well come in terms of the champion determining the champions. And that's it in terms of the National Bank, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Primary School competition. The Jones High School, we have to get the information. We were not able to get any information on that as yet, but we will be getting subsequently. And you're listening to On the Ball here at WINNFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host, and On the Ball is being sponsored by K&Jet. Jet. And we say a very big thank you to K&Jet Jet for coming on board and sponsoring us. And they are located at the airport, at RLB International Airport. And it's all about an effortless airport luxury. Enjoy the one-of-a-kind boutique airport service that you could only find on the thrilling island of St. Kitts and Nevis. While our chef serves up island specialties, you can relax in our luxury lounge with its stylish blend of local and contemporary decor. Most of all, you can lose yourself in the nothing's too much trouble service, for our K&Jet Jet is well known. From immigration formalities to dining reservations to private jet charter, our attentive and intuitive concierge team takes care of every little detail. And we say a very big thank you to K&Jet Jet for coming on board and sponsoring On the Ball. This is our 3rd edition, and we actually take calls if you want to call in and share your views, make some recommendations. We're glad with that. And so far we have our guests here in the studios with us. And we'll be turning to them because, boy, Daddy T, that's a very heavy panel we have over there, boy. Heavy, very heavy panel. And cricket is the main feature here tonight. All kind of cricket playing all over the world. And we're going to get to them and introduce them. And we thank them for coming in. But before we go to them, we not only deal with football and cricket. We have a little bit of golf for you. And this is an article out of the Dews Sports, Tuesday, 7th November 2023. Norfolk repeats as Antigua Open Golf champ. Adrian Norfolk of St. Kitts claimed a historic hat-trick of wins by capturing the 2023 Antigua Open Golf Championship at Cedar Valley on Sunday. Norfolk shot a two-day tally of 143 to outlast a star-studded field to become the first ever three-peat Antigua Open champions. And remember, we're talking golf. And we say a very big congratulations to Norfolk. And that is by no means an easy feat, stepping up and setting the pace for others to follow. And he's out of St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, St. Kitts to be particular. I feel really wonderful. I just want to thank God for waking us up every day to see a different day. Norfolk said after his latest victory. I want to appreciate all the work around here, such as the restaurant, the roads around the golf course, and especially these young people who are playing golf here in Antigua. I feel really proud to see them involved. Fellow Kittitian Raymond Percival captured the runner-up spot with a total of 145, while Wilston Charles of Antigua and Barbuda came in third with a score of 147. One of those talented youngsters, Catherine Woodhouse, is the new Antiguan golf queen. The 16-year-old sensation emerged from the 36-hole tournament with a total of 155 to capture the ladies category, and she's only 16. Ladies category trophy for the second year running back-to-back. Michelle Millington came in second with a total of 174, and Jenna Andrew finished third with a score of 211. But one thing is happening, a lot of cricketers, they are turning into golf. And former West Indies and Leeward Islands cricketer Sylvester Joseph, or Bouncing as he's called, won the men's A-flight contest with the two-day total of 155. Mark Woodhouse finished second with a score of 156. So we say congratulations to them and wish them all the best. And especially to Adrian Norfolk of St. Kitts for bringing in a hat-trick in the Antigua Open Golf. And if you are listening and you're hearing the person who won with 143 and the person came second with 145, in some sporting disciplines, the bigger the numbers, the better you are, and you're the winner. But in some others, the smaller the numbers, you win. As in golf, 143 means, and you're at 145, it means that you had two shots more to do the same thing that I did in 143. So congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we again thank you for tuning in to On the Ball here at WINNFM 98.9. And my guests, we were to have 5, but there's a game going on the 5th. He is out, still playing and showing the youngsters what to do. He is Mr. Shane Jeffers. He won't be able to make it. Initially, he's going to try because Sandy Point is playing, and he's playing with Sandy Point, and they're playing in the Keith Atherton T20 competition. And we thank Kayan Jet for sponsoring us. And we're now going to go over to our colleagues in the studio and say good night, gentlemen. Welcome to On the Ball here at WINNFM 98.9, gentlemen. And I hope you guys don't fall off the ball with the amount of information and views we're going to be sharing tonight. Can I have you, gentlemen, introducing yourselves, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Norval McCall, from the village of the Bull, from Mansion. If you are wondering where that is, we boast the longest overhead bridge in St. Kitts and Nevis, if Nevis would have bridges. So, Norval McCall it is. And I'm here to chit-chat with you.
Thank you, Norval. And we're going to come back to you to tell us a little about yourself. And who's up next? Who's back
Percy Daniel, good evening. My name is Percy Daniel again. Keon, Leeward Islands Cricket Board representative.
Wow, that's a powerful position, boy. Keon and Leeward Islands Board representative. Thank you for coming, Percy. And who's coming in at number 3?
Good evening, Jace Taylor. I'm here representing the Lenaris Cricket Academy.
Oh, thank you very much.
The village of Molineux.
Your village of Molineux, inner city Molineux.
Okay, that's right.
And our final guest.
My name is Eustace Maynard, and I'm here because you would have invited me, being here so many times in the past, and we're here to discuss some very exciting cricket. We would have seen it today. And we have also the West Indies 50 overs. So we are looking forward to a very, very important discussion. And thanks very much for inviting me. But I also must take the opportunity to say a very special good evening to all of our listeners out there in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the Leewards and around the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, and those who are locked on wherever around the world. We welcome you. We ask you to stay tuned, and we hope that you will follow the discussion from the beginning until the end.
Thank you very much, Eustace. And when we come back, I'm just going to big up the sponsors again. We're going to go in the reverse order, and you're going to tell us, why do you qualify to be here to be talking cricket? What is your involvement? Why? Convince the spectators, the listeners, forgive me, and talking spectators. But that's when we come back, because at this stage, we must again big up our sponsors. You're listening to On the Ball here on WINNFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host. This is the 3rd edition of this program, and as of tonight, the first 2 programs, they were 1 hour, and they were held fortnightly. But as of tonight, this program is going to be a weekly program every Tuesday, and it's also going to be 2 hours long from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., where we discuss different sporting disciplines, bringing information, the goods, the bad, the indifferent, the views, and of course, your calls. We accept your calls. You can call 466-0989, 762-0989. And there are a few other numbers you can call from overseas to get your information in, to ask a question, and we'll take care of you. We are streaming live on Facebook and also on YouTube, so you are able to join us at www.facebook.com/WinFM, and our YouTube, it's www.youtube.com/channel/UCEN. That is U as in Uruguay, C as in Canada, E as in England, N as in nutmeg, E as in egg, B as in beef, M as in mango, H as in heaven, K as in kangaroo, A as in apple, A as in apple, E as in egg, Y as in yogurt, E as in egg, Q as in queen, hyphen, A for apple, Z for xylophone, N for nutmeg, R is for rainbow, F is for fun or food or frolic, B is for beef, L is for love, and W is for whatever. And that is what you'll put in to get us. And we're talking cricket here, which is the main feature tonight. A lot of cricket happening. We have the Keith Atherton T20 competition happening here in St. Kitts. That is organized by the St. Kitts Cricket Association. We have the region, the Caribbean Super 50 CG Insurance Super 50 competition that is also happening. We have World Cup cricket and the West Indies female A team. They are touring down in Pakistan. So, Eustace, tell us a little about yourself, really. And we'll ask everybody to tell us. I know Sly mentioned that West Indies and, Keon, but nobody knows if Sly played cricket. So he'll tell us a little more about that. But talk to us, Eustace.
Well, good evening again, and to my colleagues and to the listeners out there. My name officially, which is Eustace Maynard, and hail officially from Lodge. I'm not living there anymore. I'm based in Bastia, and I am a cricket commentator and also a member of the St. Kitts Cricket Association. I see myself as an expert of this game that I love, and cricket I see as just about the best, and I will not settle for anything less. And I have been here, as I said, many, many times in the past when we used to have the program on Monday nights. And what a discussion we had in the past, and I'm definitely looking forward for this discussion. There's so much to share, so much to talk about. We have the World Cup, the big stage, and we would have witnessed a big match today, a big performance from outstanding right-hander for the Australian middle order. Came down in the lower part, but we know what he's capable of doing, especially at the 2020 version. And we have a lot more to speak about in terms of the game, in terms of the tournament, the World Cup, and who we expect to be in this semis. Well, 3 teams already in the semi, and we are looking forward to have one more team. You would ask the question, which is the very important question.
Which we'll discuss later.
Right, yeah. So that right. Very important question would be asked, which team will join the other 3 teams? And we will continue the discussion. So I'll give my colleagues a chance to
We're reversing the order, so Jace is up now.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, good evening again. My background in cricket came through the St. Kitts youth system from under 13 right up to under 19. Captain those as well. Went on to play Leeward Islands youth cricket and senior cricket as well. Currently, I'm at the Lenavis Cricket Academy as the head coach. Officially retired from cricket, Leeward Islands cricket, inter-island cricket, January in the 3-day competition that was held in early up in the year, January. Let's say I'm in a new role now, quite enjoying it. It's nice to give back to the youths, seeing where I've come from, what I've gained from cricket. I'm happy to shape their future. We've been producing some good young talent over the last year. Training sessions twice a week with them, physical. We also do a lot of mental stuff with them, not just only the cricket side, but developing them as an individual as well. So that's basically it from my end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Percy Daniel, my cricketing background is short. I am what I would consider a late bloomer in terms of my representation at the national level. Ever since I know myself, I've been playing cricket, but for whatever reason, the selection aspect eluded me, and that is something that I could not have controlled. But in terms of my cricket, national cricket, that was, I said, late. I had a 2-year stint at the Leeward Island level. Since then, I have been involved in coaching, even before I became a national player. As Jay said, I remember looking back at, up to tonight I was reminiscing on some pictures that I saw with him and Chris Tanja and those under 13 guys playing for the national team. I mean, playing for the St. Kitts under 13 and under 15. Even during those years, though I was playing, I was still involved in coaching, and coaching is something that I love. At present, I'm in the capacity. I'm employed by the Leeward Island Cricket Board in quote unquote the capacity as the operational manager / coach. I am also the Leeward Island on the 19 female coach and the senior female coach. I have coached the national team, the St. Kitts national team. I have been involved in Leeward Island cricket for a lot of years. Still there. Retiring soon. No, at some point, you'll have to give way. But that is my present role as the operation manager, Leeward Island Cricket Board.
Thank you very much, Sly. And we have Norval McCall.
All right, my name again, Norval McCall. Hail from Mansion. Would have played most of my cricket out of Mansions as a youngster. Probably started, my memory allows me, my first cricket game wasn't for Mansion, it was for Depe in a youth instructional softball league that was organized by Dwyer, and they back in about 86, 87 thereabout. And took it from there, played for Mansion for some years, then I transferred to the Keon Cricket Club, which I captained. Then I went from Keon to the national team and was allowed to captain some games, played alongside Jace for most of my years. We probably got into the team close about the same time, and I gave it about 13 years. I played for the Len Harris Cricket Academy, which he coaches now, and I also captained the Len Harris Cricket Academy. I wasn't as fortunate as the other two gentlemen to have made it to a Leeward Islands team. That eluded me, and with that misfortune, it took me back to school back in 2009, and I still came home and played. But my last year was somewhere in 2012, 2013. I have not been playing cricket per se. I played up to 2015 locally, and I played my first game since that in March of this year, competitive game, because I went away from the game for a while. But I am now involved in some levels of commentary and an ardent fan of the game. I haven't entertained the coaching aspect of it just yet, but I still think I could refine one or two of the guys if they were to ask a question or two. And my forte when I played would have been bowling, but Sly is probably the only man I never got.
That is because maybe as an umpire, I didn't give you the cart, send him cart behind or the LBW.
Quite possible.
I don't know.
Possible.
But we won't ever know about that. Thank you, gentlemen. And I just realized, because you guys are packing so much ammunition, so much weight, so much experience, so much qualification, the floor in Studio 2, it is sinking a bit. That's how powerful you guys are. Gentlemen, a lot of cricket happening. And if we start here locally, the Keith Atherton T20 League being put on by the St. Kitts and St. Kitts Cricket Association. Currently, there's a game in the park, and it is Police. They are about to lose to Sandy Point. They were 78 for 10 from 16 overs. Sandy Point, and one of our guests, Shane Jeffers, he's playing. They are 70 for 1 from 8.4 overs. Now, interesting here, we had a similar situation in the World Cup, so to speak, in terms of magnitudes and differences. In the Royal St. Christopher Nevis and Police Forces, 78 for 10. Kevin Paris, he batted at number 7. He was 50 from 44 balls, 50 out of 78. And nobody else got into double figures, not even extras. And the bowling for Sandy Point saw Dinell Dixon, who is the captain. He had 4 wickets from 4 overs with 11 runs. Kenny Douglas, Ambassador Kenny Douglas, putting down his ambassadorial outfit, picking up his colored outfit. He had 2 overs, 2 wickets, 9 runs. Tariq Newton, and both of them opened the bowling. Tariq Newton was the third change, 3 for 25 from 4. Sandy Point, they are now batting. The wicketkeeper Joshua Grant, he is 46 not out from 31 balls. He had 6 fours and 1 6. With him, Zawandi White, 8 from 5. And Tariq Newton, he opened the bowling. He was 12 from 16. And only Trevor Paul has touched the pad. He's 1.4 overs. And he has given up 18 runs for the 1 wicket he got, ladies and gentlemen. If we look at the point standing quickly, Sandy Point out in the lead. They would have played 3-1 to last 1. So they are on 4 points. Molyneux Keon Cricket Club, they are same stats, played 3-1 to last 1. They are in second on 4 points with a lesser net run rate. La Poinciana, which is a new club, they are in third, same stats, but a lesser run rate, winning 2, losing 1, 4 points. St. Paul's, which is a new club, and quite a few youngsters, and I must compliment Mr. James Ward from St. Paul's for putting together this team and bringing them. They've played to 1-1 last 1. They are on 2 points. Young Guns, they played 3-1-1 last 2. They are on 2 points. Police, they've played 2, and they are yet to get a point. And quickly, 6 teams in the competition. They have 15 matches. 8 have gone, 9 tonight. And we have Tuesday the 7th, which is today Sandy Point playing Police. Thursday, November the 9th, Molyneux Keon will be coming up against St. Paul's at 5:30 p.m. Saturday, the 11th, we're going to have a doubleheader at 1 p.m. St. Paul's versus Poinciana. And all these games are in the park. And at 4 p.m., Police versus Molyneux Keon. Sunday, the 12th, another doubleheader, 1 p.m. Sandy Point versus Poinciana. And at 4 p.m., St. Paul's versus Young Guns. And November the 14th, the last of the regular rounds, 5:30 p.m., that's going to be Young Guns versus Police. And November 16th, we have one semi-final. November 18th at 5:30 p.m., both games, another semi-finals, with the finals being played November 21st, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. Now, gentlemen, how important is this T20 to St. Kitts cricket and the development of cricketers in St. Kitts? Who's going to take a bite at the cherry?
Cricket need to be played, and so that is paramount. If cricket is played, that is the stage that you make assessment of any player, any individual, to develop teams. We cannot from the coaching standpoint. We are coaching and we are coaching and we are coaching, and if we are not giving the players the opportunity to get on the stage, we will not have an idea where they are. And so this is an indication for persons to harness the talent, to show what they have. And we have been asking for cricket in terms of playing more cricket, and this is the start of what I think should be happening in as far as cricket playing.
Thank you very much, Sly. If I'm not mistaken, one of the rules is that you must include 1 or 2 on the 219 players.
Yeah.
How do you see these youngsters fit in, Jay, since you're on the floor and you're in the academy, fitting into the scheme of things? How can they benefit?
Yeah, there's a vast amount of knowledge there, to be honest. With these kids, players filtering into clubs. We have guys that playing first-class cricket, a few franchise guys playing in the league as well too. So information will be passed on down to them. It's only up to them to develop their skill sets. I keep telling them that cricket is not so much about what you can do, but how best you can execute from a mental standpoint. The game gets tough, as you can see today in a World Cup game. You're back against the wall. You're 40-something for 7, stuff like that, and you came out on top with a big, massive win. So it helps to shape them. Once you have that guidance within the team, it makes life a little easier for them. Give them little roles to partake in, so they're always getting the experience and giving them feedback as well. Too. That's a big thing for them, getting that feedback.
How, when you have age gaps novel, the youngsters, whether they're 15, 16, coming up against the 30 plus players, 30 plus whatever the age is, who are basically retired from perhaps the inter-island cricket, where you're passing on the information. So it's an age gap, an experience gap. So how do you go about telling a youngster, well, this is the better way to do it?
Well, I guess I was in that same youngster position years ago. And I will use the example with Sly being here. I played a game against Police in Mansions. I was a developing off spinner. I hadn't homed my craft as yet. Would have been picking up wickets. Sly would have been a massively experienced batter. And the game wasn't going well for us, and well for me. And I came to bowl to Sly, and whether I bowled good balls or bad balls, Sly dealt into them. And what he observes was simple body language. My body language wasn't good. And he figured, if my body language isn't good, my head isn't good. And took advantage of it and hit the ball all over the place. Now, that's the separation of experience and youth, or inexperience. Now, to get the message across, really, after the game, now, I felt I bowled bad, but Sly took me aside and said, hey, it didn't matter what you bowled today because your body language didn't say something positive. I took advantage of it. And for me, that was a big lesson. Even if it's not going well, you have to keep your head up and do the right things and look like it's going to be happening. How often are we watching a West Indies game and we say, them fellas look like they're down already? We could see it. Even though we are not there, it's on TV, you could see the body language. So sometimes you could use situations to teach, to get the point across. You could use teaching moments. Just like you're using a child, you use situations to teach them. And sometimes the approach sometimes is not even to tell them that's not the right way. You just show them another way. And
Or even
ask a question. So you could have open a discussion to, let's have a dialogue about it. And you trade information and suggestions and let the individual get an opportunity to choose how he can use the information to improve his game. I could use another example. Years ago, Lenny Lake became our manager. And Lenny came into a coaching session and he watched us for about a half an hour. Jason and I were bowling. I had never done anything with him, but he pulled us aside and said, how many of you could bowl and hit $1? So I said, maybe we can. And he put down $1 and he said, bowl on an off break, hitting the $1, hitting the stump. And then he took the $1 and he said, bowl a straight ball, bowl a drifter. Then he removed the $1, he put a quart. Then he removed the quart, he put a 10 cent. And he said, if you could consistently hit this 10 cent and bowl your 3 deliveries, you're in business. Now, he wasn't asking us to change anything, but everything he said improved what we did. Without saying, hey, you ain't doing this right. Yeah. And Jace could tell you how much that would have improved our bowling from there on out.
Yeah, that implicit learning.
He didn't say, man, fellas, man, how you are going about bowling ain't make no sense. He just came and he gave us a simple drill. Simple drill. Mm-hmm. And that helped everything. So that's one way, or those are ways that experience can teach a newcomer.
I want to add, and that speaks to, as Jays was saying, often we tend to want to impart, we want to talk about Percy and what Percy is doing. Just that discussion, and you ask them, it's about having the discussion. A lot of times we don't have that discussion with the player. to have them, let them know, brother, you can hear your views, you can tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
It is not about
Not one-way traffic.
Yeah, years ago, it used to be the coaching style used to be you're
do
doing
as
it
I
wrong
say.
and this is the way to do it and so on.
You
And
do
we
as I say.
realize that is not ideally. There is another way. And so we are now attacking that approach and getting the players now to understand that we can have a discussion, ask questions, get them involved in the decision making, let them know that they're part of that process as well, and not that it is just about you being the coach and you want to bully the situation. And we found that in that engagement, that is the one that is actually working.
Yeah, because same year before, took 30-something wickets. And in the first 2 games, I probably dropped 3 bowl and cards. So Lenny said, how many bowl and cards you took last year? I said, boy, I mean, maybe 1. And he said, you ain't going to take none this year. And I said, how does that help me? And he simply observed a simple thing that I needed to do that would allow me to be in position to catch. So after my delivery, my positioning was poor. I would hardly ever take a catch because I would either still be on the run and stuff like that. So we made a slight adjustment after delivery. I got into a position that I could move left, right, or forward if I needed to, rather than bowling and attacking the batsman as if I'm a pace bowler. In the next game, I took 3 bowl and cards. I'm just saying that observation, asking a question, hey, I admitted that I didn't take many catches, bowl and card, because not that I had poor hands, but my positioning was bad. So I wouldn't have been able to execute catching the way that I should.
Thank you, Novel. And just before we come to you, Eustace, we remind you you're listening to On the Ball here at WINN-FM 98.9. I'm Troy Biff Mills, your host. On the Ball is aired from tonight, every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. And it is being sponsored by KNJet. KNJet, they are up at the RLB International Airport. We are a 5-star private air terminal providing luxury services and a relaxing environment for guests arriving to and departing from the beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our exclusive state-of-the-art terminal is available to passengers of private and commercial jets. Relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while your immigration and baggage requisites are being addressed. It is now 7 minutes past 8 here on WINN-FM 98.9, and you're on the ball with the On the Ball program. We're going until 9 o'clock. We have in the studios with us 4 powerful gentlemen. We have Norval McCall, Sly Percy Daniel, Jay Taylor, and Eustace Maynard. And we invite you to give us a call if you want to comment, ask a question. 466-0989, 662-0989. Or if you're calling from overseas, 869. You prefix those numbers with 869. If you don't want to call and you're shy, you can send me a WhatsApp, 668-2055, and I'll be able to ask your question for you. Eustace, you did some commentary. So you're up in the commentator's box, and you're perhaps one of the very powerful pundits, cricket pundits we have here. And persons may not know it because we haven't tested it tonight. But the first time I came across you, I would ask you about a particular game, and you're going to tell me on the 21st of March, 1972, when West Indies played Australia down in St. Vincent. In the second innings, Biff was on this, and Norval bowled him a ball and something. I'm very much. Initially, when I heard you, I used to think you're reading from a book. You had a stats book, but it's all coming from the brain. But you're in the pavilion, and the same scenario, because a lot of youth development today is being done not just with your peers, but playing along with the more experienced players. And we see it, we look at the West Indies A team, Jazara Claxton from Sandy Point St. Kitts. She's only 17, but she's playing with present female West Indies players and future players, Sherry and Fraser. and Rashida Williams, big name for Jamaica. And so she's getting that experience. But you're in the pavilion. Do you really see, how do you see that interaction? Does it appear to you that the younger players are being as receptive as they ought to be by their body language? Do you get the impression that sometimes the information is going through one ear and coming out of the next? And after having the chat, do you stay in the pavilion and you see some improvements similar to what Norval would have spoken about?
Well, as we continue the discussion, excellent discussion so far, you would have heard so many different experiences from our colleagues here. And I would have experienced over the years players who are very much interested in getting information, and themselves would have taken it upon themselves and go to the experience of the former players, coaches or managers, and speak to them, interact with them, so they can, get as much experience as possible, because you're looking forward to develop your craft, to develop yourself, and to get as high as possible when it comes to the game that you play and you love. It's not about just the coach or the manager. It's always should be about communication, and communication should be effective, because in every way there is communication, but if it's not effective communication, then that would not really be the best thing. So I would have seen in the past, as I said, where players who really, look forward to get as much information, seek information from their coaches or their managers or maybe the senior players, or, people who they would have come across or know in the country, who would have played at a higher level and have so much to share. And it's always very, very important to have some sort of discussion so you can learn as much as possible, because the people who would have excelled, who would have achieved, would have a lot more to share, and you could benefit from their experience. But I am definitely looking forward for the discussion and the regional matches, and also the World Cup. And we also know that this evening at 1 a.m. would be a match between the West Indies A team and the Pakistan. And I'm looking forward for which we must take the opportunity to big up and congratulate our young ambassador, Zara Claxton, who would have done, so great, I'm telling you, over the years. And we know that this citizen of this beautiful land is not just a cricketer. She's so versatile, played so many different sports, and has done well at every single sport she played. Football, cricket, track and field, volleyball, basketball, tennis. You name it. And she's on the big stage now, where she's representing just about the West Indies second team, because that is a step into the big team. And Zara will get there. Just about someone who would have born on the 12th of March 2006 at the age of 17. And there, among all of the, more senior players. And that would do a lot of good, getting the information, as they socialize, as they play, as they interact, it would do a lot of good. And she also had an excellent game when she took those 4 wickets and took the team to victory. And I am definitely looking forward, and the whole of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I want to believe not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but throughout the Leewards and around the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, definitely I fully believe that they would want the best for her, and we, from our position here this evening, would give our congratulations to her, and we wish her continuous development, and we expect the best, because we know that this young talent and ambassador is a true champion, and she will make us proud by getting into the senior West Indies team, and I am definitely feeling that with confidence tonight.
Thank you very much, Eustace. How the Len Cricket Academy? I know you said you're the coach of the senior female team, Sly. The female, that senior, that's Lee was it?
Leeward.
Uh-huh. And we know Jazara played. But in terms of the Len Harris Cricket Academy, she's here in St. Kitts. Before she played here, would she have been engaged in the academy? And if so, how often? What was her program like?
I believe I would have Jay speak on her involvement with the academy. As he said, he is the head coach there. Again, but let me speak to the fact that the moment that we realized that Jazara excel in the regional under 19 tournament, that's the very first regional under 19 tournament, and the possible selection to travel with the West Indies team. Remember, they would have traveled prior to the World Cup. They were going to select a team to travel to engage in some preliminary matches prior to the selection of that final West Indies 14 to travel to South Africa for the World Cup. We knew, at least I knew, having been the coach then, and Steve Livard being the coach, would have been the person who would have been traveling with the team. He was there in Trinidad, and the communication was that they are looking at potential female personnel, and Jazara did well. She was one of the potential persons, and so we realized coming back, she would have need to have been undergoing some continuous training, and so there was communication between Steve Libert and Jays, knowing that Jays is in charge of the academy, and so there was communication between him and Jays as to what sort of training and program that was necessary for her, and so Jays was involved in that aspect.
So what role, having listened to what was the extent of the role based on what Sly just said, Jace?
First of all, I got to thank Percy for his commitment, relentless commitment. I don't think Jazar would have been where she at if it wasn't for Percy, what he did. He actually went to look for this young girl because she was playing football at the time, and football season basically got over. And he decided he wanted to travel with Jazara.
Stick a pin, and if I could put this into perspective, Jazara, a very good athlete. Mm-hmm. She is the captain of the St. Kitts and Nevis under 20 female team. Mm-hmm. So it's not a case where she was just playing football. The captain, plus she represented St. Kitts and Nevis in track and field and West Indies. So I just wanted to bring that because she's a multidisciplined athlete.
We're not disputing that.
No, for the listeners, I just wanted. And I remind you can call 4660989, 6620989 if you want to make a comment, ask a question, or you can send me a WhatsApp 6682099. Yes, continue, sir.
Yeah, so Percy made that call and went to visit the mom. I don't know why he told him mom to convince her to get Jazara to go. I think actually it was the same day we were traveling, something like that.
Well, we're traveling tomorrow, tonight, and for the entire week I was at her house for the whole week until the very night that we were traveling. and I thank you for permitting me to continue. Having had the conversation with Jazara, I know Jazara, I mean, she's a performer. Put Jazara on a stage. She loves performing. She doesn't look at individuals. She don't look at individuals. She believes in herself. And so all she need, or she would tell you, just pick her. I've seen little bits and pieces. And like I said, I've been in the coaching thing. And as a coach, sometimes you can pick a little talent here, pick a little thing there. And let me use this example. As the moderator said, Jazara never used to come to practice. I would invite her. I would go to her mom. I would go to her workplace. I went to her father. She just wasn't coming. And I thought, why not put on a game? And I put on a game at Connery. The game start. So I reach, I look in, because I still think that she's going to come, because like I said, she's a performer. Then 2 minutes after Jazara reached, we were playing against Nevis. A wicket fall. Just as she came in and was putting on, well, she didn't put on the pad. So a wicket fall, and I said, Jazara, you're going to go back 3. Remember, Jazara, she ain't practicing, she ain't playing the cricket. So I said, you're going to bat 3. And she got the kind of face she'd put on. So me, what I with the face, I went and I put on the pads, and she put on the pads, put on the gloves. And Jazara take about 5 minutes to walk from the dressing room to the pitch.
If she was in the World Cup, should have been timed out.
According to Angelo.
We ain't timing out nobody.
They were not part of the rules.
And nobody get Jazara. Jazara stayed here and bat the 20 overs. 20 overs, nobody get her. Sanelda, Mel,
All the other
nobody
senior
got
players
her.
who would
She
have,
just stayed there and
and you must be
on top of that,
yeah, you must get credit, because imagine,
on top of that, we went to field.
Yeah.
And Jazara bowled down Sanelda. No disrespect to Sanelda.
no,
A good ball.
yeah,
She played over it. She get bowled down. She bowled Mel. I'm talking about the experienced person. Jazara run from one side of the field. The ball went high in the air. She was on the half side. Jazara run from the half side across the pitch and take a ball from a player who she realized when the player look up, she want to take it. And I'm just saying about the performance. And I decided,
Class.
hell no, I can't travel to Trinidad
without
Jazara. I had the luxury of being the sole selector for the team, for the female team, because as Jay said, nobody was really involved in the female part of it, and so I took on that mantle and I commit myself to making sure that we get some girls. And being the only selector, I said, well, this is it. I couldn't get nobody in the New Island team, so I'm sorry. I got to get
Somebody else.
And so those are name went on the list. Even though, and I could speak to it because it embedded in me. We're going to be at the airport for 1:30. You should be checking. Everybody should check in by 1:30. 1:30, I am calling Jazara phone and Jazara in town. They don't close the flight up at the airport. I said, what the hell? So I borrowed Zoily, if anybody knows Zoily from Sandy Point. Zoily worked at the airport. He was he part of the American airline crew. And so I said, Zoily, boy, Jazara, hold the closing thing and so on. Dash downtown, Jazara, boy, Army Bakery. She mother said, they're going to buy something, some kind of lotion. I said, but what lotion? We don't check in. So
You're dealing with women here.
and then I said, Jazara, let's go. Where your mother Beaker Park? Because she suitcase and everything. So I went, we opened the vehicle, checked Jazara, and tell she mother, well, we're at the airport. I'm just saying, and these are the things that had to be done. Because I couldn't leave. I honestly couldn't leave. We got to Trinidad. We had a captain and a vice captain separate to Jazara. we get on the field, it's just running the cricket.
Uh-huh.
She running the cricket. I mean, actually, literally running the cricket. Jazara is the only bowler that got a hat trick in that tournament, the inaugural under 19 tournament. And what was so sad is that, the game wasn't televised. I mean, so we couldn't get the highlight the thing, because that was not one of the games that they were streaming, and so we didn't get a chance to highlight that. But I'm just making the point. I saw performance, and I couldn't have traveled without her. That's the start, and this is it. The disappointment, nothing. I mean, we are proud of what we are seeing, and
more to come.
When she came back from the Pakistan, I remember, as a matter of fact, she had sent me the video when we were having a little talk at the airport, and I said to all who were there that, we come and we have this fanfare, but we have to make sure that we provide the platform for Jazara to perform. It can't just be all talk. Because as Jays would tell you, the commitment at the park, when we go to the park to prepare, to practice, we need a number of things. Could you imagine that we are there and there is no fluid for the people to drink? So those are the things. So you can't just have it in a vacuum. There are things that need to be put in place structurally so as to get the best from Jazara and the others that are coming.
So
and
there is sponsorship.
There is a cost relating to it. I remember when I was coming from Guyana with a team, I met a gentleman on the flight, and we saw us in the uniform. He said, "Okay, in the uniform." And we had a discussion. And he's saying there is no way that we're going to develop cricket in particular, any sport for that matter, and don't have that corporate sponsorship, because we need the funds. Yeah. When we are practicing, we need a physio. A player get injured, right? Myself and Jays and Larry is involved in the coaching. We would need somebody to take care. As a matter of fact, there was a time when we were high catching, and there was a new female. They had just come in, and she tried to catch the ball, youthful. The ball slipped through her finger and struck her at the top of the one of her eye. I think it was the left eye, and there was a bump. And here is it that I had to stop the session, go and assist, got ice, and so she sat down and she said to me, "Well, if this is what I am coming to be involved with, me ain't coming back." "Why me ain't coming back?" I said, "Why you ain't coming back?" "But you ain't supposed to stop the coaching and things. We're supposed to have somebody to deal with me and attend to me and so on."
Yes.
And so these are the things that need to be put in place.
The resources.
The resources have to be put in place. And not only the resources, we myself and James, we also always discuss this. It is important too who you put around the resources, who you put around the players. Because if you're going to have people going to come and be bull, today, in our work, I tell you, in our work. And so, as we were just discussing earlier, the communication and how you approach in getting the information and getting them to understand what you're trying to get, to buy into what you're selling, is going to be very, very crucial. And so there has to be a tactical approach as to how to get across.
Sly, if you would allow me to ask a question. I'm not commenting on this because this is above my pay grade. This is coaching stuff. Jazara returns to St. Kitts. How do we keep her involved in cricket, not practice? Not talking about practicing at the academy. I mean, this came up in a previous program I was on last week. There is a league running. Would we be allowing her to play with a team in the local league? Because she would have played a lot of cricket for the year. But we are aware that we don't have a full-fledged female league in St. Kitts. So how do we keep her playing the game, not practicing? Practicing is critical. How do we allow her to continue to express herself playing the game?
Before you answer, Sly, that's a very good question. And if I'm remembering correctly, when she went to Bounty Welch Primary School, that's down there in Boyd's, she, from what I gathered, Anthony Wilshire was the principal. Stuart Duff Rollins, he was the sports master, deputy principal and sports master. And he had a cricket program going. and he played Jazara. They're going to play the primary school cricket, whatever, and Jazara played with the males. And if I'm not mistaken, she went on to become the captain of the male team, the primary school. So that's a very good question. How does that fit in here in St. Kitts, in our cricket?
Let me add that for the rules of the competition, there are rules of the competition, and there is no doubt that at Jazara's level, that she can play in this league, and so I would want to see anyone who would be denying her that opportunity. Come, think it's tomorrow. The league is ongoing, and a team decide, she decide, listen, I want to play with K.R. Molyneux, and she is included in that team. I would want to see someone, anyone, who would be objecting to her involvement in the thing.
I think Sandy Point actually picked up, to be honest, having a little discussion with her before she left. She was asked if she wanted to play in the league. But we have to manage her at the same time.
Yeah, the amount of cricket and stuff.
I know coming for the next couple of weeks after she gets back, she has a rest period.
Must be.
After a rest period, she basically into December. She leaves again January for camp, for West Indies R19 camp. So as I said, the workload has to be well managed.
Yeah, definitely. I was just wondering if she would be away from cricket for some time, once she's not playing regionally and internationally, how do we keep her involved in cricket? Because we are aware that sometimes you as a player would play Leeward Island tournament, and then you have no cricket until January. So you had a lot of farm in June and July, and January come, and you haven't played any cricket, and you're out of touch. So that's just what I was thinking. But if there is a proper program to manage her workload, that's absolutely critical in managing injuries and all these sorts of things from a coaching standpoint.
In terms, I like the question and I like that answer, but there are two things I'm wondering. She just finished Sandy Point High School. I think she was successful with her CXC subjects. And from my understanding and little research, she was to be going on to CFBC. However, that wasn't really a primary choice, because she would have been away from as in this case, and in January, from the school pretty often, and obviously they have tight rules and regulations. So the question is there a system in place, a program to help her academically while she's playing the sort of cricket? And if not, why not? If not, how can that be done? If it is in place, how successful has it been so far? Is this a guinea pig situation where it's a trial, or has it been done before? Plus, the second question is the support system, not just the technical element. Because she's only 17. Forgive me, but she's a child. And she's going to be mixing with people 20-something, 30-something, whatever the case is. How does she manage that? The conversations and the female life?
Well, Troy, I want to say something on this, because at I think it was in May or June on another program, I made the point that as a country, this is not about the Cricket Association, this is not about Sly and Jace. As a country, we have a responsibility to identify what they describe as elite athletes. Does she fall in the bracket to you guys?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So we have a Ministry of Sports. The Ministry of Sports would have persons who are in the Ministry of Education. If she is interested in doing something at the sixth form level, we must be able to have an isolated program for her where she would have classes that are not the same classes that you walk into at CFB. She have a tutor in business management or accounting, and her classes are maybe Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock when she has nothing to do. And to ensure that she gets this sort of education, but this must come from, not from her parents, because she's now a country person. She's St. Kitts and Nevis. And we are to manage her, not her cricket, not her football, not her athletics, her life. She must be treated as a treasure. It simply means whether we have a program or not, we have people paid by government tax money or tax money, and they must come up with something that could manage this young lady in a manner where she is educated properly and her sports are both on the same level. Years ago, you got the impression that you couldn't play sports and be educated. That is foolishness. And we need to ensure that the young lady is, whether, as you say, a guinea pig program, whatever it is, because she's not the only elite athlete. We need to identify them and find a way to treat them. I think in Jamaica, they said they are taken away to a particular school where they attend this school and they are allowed to play sports. But we can't allow this opportunity to pass by. She must be properly educated and she must be allowed to play the cricket. And if it needs this, that's why I hear Sly use the word, the fanfare at the airport. If we got to stop those things, stop them. If they're costing too much, save the money to ensure that the young lady gets her education and the fluids when she need and a balanced approach then. That's my little contribution.
To be fair, there are certain things talking about right now. Get in place.
Good.
Can't really talk on it too much.
Don't, if you don't have to.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I said this before she finished her exam, that if she's one of our elite athletes, and we all agree, if this is the opportunity where we have another 5 coming through, they don't have a challenge. We know they start playing football for St. Kitts or cricket or golf or chess, that we have a program that they are filtered into and they are managed in a particular way, and the cost is handled here and the cost is handled there. If Badman could get money, we could get money for proper sports people who are being proper ambassadors for us, and that the investment is not in a cricketer. You're investing in the individual, the person, the holistic development of this person.
Yeah, I fully support, Jazaro in giving the opportunity to develop her craft and whatever, at the highest level need to be done. We are looking forward for whatever need to be put in place so she can get the best support that is necessary, that is important, so she can continue to develop, because she has done us proud. And I am definitely, as I said before, looking forward for her to go the next step, which is into the senior West Indies team. And I know when she gets there, not if, but when she gets there, the whole country would have more reasons to celebrate and for us to continue to feel proud of this excellent ambassador who has represented us well and have done well, and we expect to continue to grow. But as we get into the first class discussion and then into the World Cup, because I'm definitely looking forward for this discussion. So we, our guys here are eager to ready to
But
to share.
just before we go there, and I'm enjoying the discussion with Jazaro, because Jazaro is really a guinea pig, for want of a better expression, no disrespect. The first female with this involvement in the West Indies level. And Norval made the point. Yes, we have had youngsters going off. I'll argue they may not have had the degree of success that Jazaro is having and will have. But if a cricketer comes through, a basketballer, how do we deal with them here before we get them off there? And Norval mentioned the corporate community. Was it Norval or
Sly mentioned it.
What the gentleman said. So you you're working for a business, a private entity. How much of an appetite do you believe, Eustace, that the corporate community here in St. Kitts and Nevis would come forward for a program like this? What needs to be done to encourage your boss, and you're at Nagico Insurance, and Sagico, you're at Sagico. What could be done for Sly or whoever, the Minister of Sport, whoever, to encourage your boss and other businesses to give up whatever it takes, having been given a program, a plan, and a budget, to say, hey, we're going to donate whatever $100,000 per year towards the development of our elite athletes after they've been identified and been performing?
Well, it's always a very good thing when any corporate, company who see it fit to donate, to contribute, to promote, because the human resource element of things in our country is very, very important, right? And when somebody would have done well, achieved, that speaks well for them, the community, the company, and by extension, the country. So if a company decides to come forward and to give whatever support, whether it's financially or, it's always very important. And this is something that I would encourage in whether it's cricket, basketball, whatever. It's always a very, very good thing when the companies decide to come forward and give whatever necessary support that is needed, necessary and important, that they come forward and make that contribution.
Thank you very much, Eustace. We jump over to City Cricket, gentlemen. The first class season, well, our top level 50 over competition happening here in the West Indies, down in Trinidad and Tobago. This model, well, there have been several changes over the years. Once ago, you may have had the 4-day, and then, well, in the Leewards, we've had the model where you have the 3-day competition, and then the following day, the 4th day. Whether before or after, you have the 1-day, the 50 over series, and then that was changed, perhaps because of finances, to all the countries, all the members meeting in one country, as the case now in Trinidad. One, how good do we believe this model is? Is it better having all of the cluster matches at the same time? Or should it be a home and away series? Should it be twinned with the 4-day competition? And perhaps the separation is according to the program of the ICC. How successful is this program? And the Leeward Islands team, are we seeing the levels of success we are expecting from them? Who goes first?
Eustace is going to open the baton. He's bursting with information.
Well, when it comes to cricket, whether you play going from territory to territory, or you play in one territory, the most important thing is for you to play cricket, right? And, well, obviously also, the more cricket they play, the more opportunity they would get to develop their craft, their trade, themselves. And this is a very good tournament. I don't think, yes, we would have seen, especially the younger players, putting up their hands, as many players who are looking forward to develop themselves and to go to the next level have put themselves, up in terms of their performances. We would have seen a couple of centuries here and there, guys performing in terms of with the ball. But in terms of the tournament, it is something very, very good for the players, and I want to believe we are also going to look in terms of the point standing and the teams who, in terms of the semifinals and the team that we probably think that can take this 2023 tournament. So we have the Leewards, which has done pretty well. They are maybe just about first or second place.
Second.
And we have Trinidad, which is, we know over the years have produced some excellent, and the Trinidad team have just about almost all the players who in the Trinidad squad, most were probably 90-something% would have played for the West Indies team. And there's no other team can boast in terms of this particular record. They have quality, they have experience, they have people who would have done it at the local level, regional level, and international level. We would have seen Narayan, who would have done it, all around the world, especially in terms of the 2020 version. He would have also announced retiring from the international level. And this is the thing when it comes to the 2020 thing, which we probably will get into another time, because we don't really have the time to deal with that. He, at 35, born the 26th of May 1988, and would have done very well, only played just about 6 test matches. An outstanding bowler, but unfortunately never played many games for the West Indies team. And he would have, even when he got called up for the West Indies team, he turned down playing for the West Indies team, which never used to happen before. People used to look forward for the opportunity to play for the West Indies team. Because of the 2020 tournaments around the world, he got a contract in the IPL for $750,000 at age 24. And he took that opportunity to go and play in the IPL, turned down playing for the West Indies team, and then came back after and started to play for the West Indies. So in terms of this particular tournament, we are getting now to the semi-finals, which the first one tomorrow, which between Barbados and
Leeward Islands.
Trinidad,
yes.
And Guyana.
And Guyana, right?
Yes, Trinidad.
And then the Leewards
Barbados. That is on the 9th. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
and Thursday. So 2 days now they're getting down to the final stage, and I'm going to give the guys the opportunity to share their views, what they expect, what they would have witnessed, and their prediction, who will take the tournament this year, and in terms of perhaps any future players who they would have seen, who they believe can be perhaps, good in terms of chances to play for the West Indies team.
All right, very quickly, some information. I'm not pretty impressed with the tournament, to be frank. We've had 5 centuries.
Poor.
I think it's a very poor tournament, to be honest, and fair to the cricket. We've only had 5 centuries in the tournament so far. The top run scorer is Justin Greaves from the Leeward Islands. He has 328 runs over 7 matches. Darren Bravo is next at 323. Arthur Nays, the youngster from the WINNMedia, 276. And Utley from Trinidad.
Are we talking about after 7 matches?
Yeah.
7 matches.
Matches. Yeah.
7 innings.
Yeah.
And Shafin Weatherford, 248. Reason why I say poor, you have the West Indies T20 captain in the Jamaica team. They haven't managed a win. They have hardly gotten over 200 runs at any point in time. The batting in the Caribbean leaves a lot to be desired. Players are not occupying the crease long enough. We do not know how to rotate strike. And that is the reason we are struggling at the higher level. If we're going to play 50 over cricket, we're watching the World Cup right now. The moment you get to over number 20, 24, 25, you're required to run. The field is spread. You're going to have to find a way to play spinners, good spinners, and produce regular singles and the odd boundary if you're able to get the totals that you require. I think only 2 or 3 innings that got past 300. We are not scoring past 300 regularly. We're watching the World Cup. 300 is a norm.
Yeah, because you're looking at 300 deliveries minimum
But
in a 50 over game.
We don't.
Is it that the pitches are not conducive?
That's a conversation that might be had too.
I know what brand of cricket West Indies are looking to play. That's the question we gotta ask. They introduced a point system this year.
Extra points.
Extra points. I think a lot of the teams are getting out the power play well, but in that middle period, they tend to struggle.
Because they can't get singles.
You know, we're still going hard at the ball, bashing the ball, black ball.
Which tells me that they're playing, what, T20 cricket?
Yeah.
Let me use our Leeward Island player as an example. Kyron Powell gets to 70-something or 48 balls.
Against Trinidad.
And he didn't get out defending or getting one. He was trying to bust the ball.
Right.
The thinking is boundary.
Yeah.
And if we only thinking that way, we're not going to make a lot of runs against good bowling. The batting has been ordinary. I'll leave Jason Sly from the technical perspective to weigh in on what they see.
As I said, the batters, from time the power play is up, I don't think batters really assessing the game from there. As I said, most of the teams getting out the power play fairly well, like 60, 70 runs. So that's a batting point there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from there, we allow the spinners to settle a bit. As it goes back to what brand of cricket we are trying to establish as a team, a West Indian team. Whether we're going to be attacking, whether we're going to learn to rotate the strike better. But for me, from my perspective, they're looking to be a little more assertive in what they do. But you cannot do that on those type of pitches.
The fact that we told the world that we are a boundary hitting team, the West Indies.
But that was a couple of years ago.
But have we made that adjustment mentally?
It's not just about boundary hitting, it's what brand you're trying to sell for yourself. We're trying to remodel the cricket per se. So we're looking at identity.
So there's baseball.
There's baseball. What is West Indies has to offer?
So what do we come up with in the West Indies?
Yes, you're saying is what brand of cricket, right?
Yeah, but
I don't know if we actually should care about a brand because we are rock bottom. If I'm to speak to what I see, we don't feel well anymore.
point.
The West Indies team is a poor feeling team and a poor catching team. We don't run well between the wicket anymore. Guys could turn twos into threes, we might get one.
Turning 3 into 1.
Yes. And we don't bat well. If you look at the emerging teams in the World Cup, they do the basics of the game that we were taught when we were 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10.
Very well.
Fielding, catching, excellent. Running between the wicket, they run hard. The best batsman in the world today playing one-day cricket is Virat Kohli. Do we see him turning down ones? If Virat Kohli pushes a ball down to long on and it's going to a left-hander's right and he definitely getting 2. And if you juggle it, he getting 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me which player in the West Indies that you know of today could do that.
Come on.
I'm not talking about, okay, Shehal. Yes, you won that one. He's about the only one. So what I'm saying is, but it hasn't filtered through our cricket. It's not, and it must start not with these guys playing CG50. We must get it back into our youth if we are to see an improvement in the CG50. And I'm sorry to say it's not happening because the way I see Athens and the young left-hander from Jamaica, I can't remember his name right now, Mackenzie. These guys just looking to hit boundaries. And the thinking is not rotation of strike. It is the most critical thing. I remember when I played for St. Kitts, I used to say to Jace and Shane them, when you're playing 50 over cricket, and I see it in the World Cup a lot, and a man bowling pace, you on your back foot, you can't pull, you can't cut. There's always one down, third man. You must be able to get on top of the ball and guide the ball down to. And I see it. Kohli, they do it a lot. They just stand up and they just open the face, take one. I mean, long on, long off back, there's one all the time. But it seems like one is a pain to our players. So
before we wrap up, gentlemen, and slip to World Cup, because we got just about 5 minutes, who will be playing in the finals of the CG 50 overs, and who will be the champions?
Trinidad versus Leeward Islands in the finals.
And who coming out on top, Sly?
Leeward Islands.
What about you, Eustace?
Well,
just a quick thing, because we have to try to get in some World Cup.
yeah, it's not going to be easy, but yes, I would like to see Leewards win the finals. But the World
Hold on. We didn't hear from McCall quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I will plead the fifth on this, because if Terrence ain't playing the next game, we ain't getting to the finals. That's as much as I would say.
All right. You're listening to On the Ball, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a guest with just on the last leg. Cricket World Cup. We saw Afghanistan having Australia. After making 291, Australia 97 for 1. The match ended in Australia 202 for 7?
291.
292, sorry, for 7.
Yeah.
With a batter going in, putting on 179 runs, was it? And coming out on top with a double century not out. What went right for Australia? What went wrong for Afghanistan? And
Well,
what are our projections into the finals? And who's winning it?
I would just speak to the Australia-Afghanistan situation. You have been there. Australia have been there, and it is not. When you have the experience, I just think that Afghanistan panicked. To me, they didn't use those strike bowlers. Listen, you need a wicket. You got to go to that. You got to take that chance, and if it doesn't work, then you know. But you can't, and that is
Cannot
where,
not use your strike
yeah,
bowlers.
that is where I see the element. The fact that it's a foreign situation. No, they just didn't use that. You have a strike bowler. There's a purpose, and they just didn't tactically use the plan. And I think that is where they faulted.
As it is right now, India into the semi-finals with 16 points, 1 game to go. South Africa also in with 12 points from the 8 matches, 1 to go. Australia sneaking in today, 12 points, 8 matches. They are 3 teams.
Australia still have a game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 teams in possibly with a chance. 3 of them on 8 points. They can all get to 10 points and be into the semi-finals. New Zealand, they are 4th. Pakistan 5th. Afghanistan 6th. There are going to be some interesting matches coming up. And who will get in? India playing the Netherlands, England playing Pakistan, Australia playing Bangladesh, South Africa playing Afghanistan, and New Zealand playing Sri Lanka, England. So who do we see in the semi-finals? Who do we see in the finals? Who we see winning this World Cup?
Well, I see India, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand in the semis.
And that's and based on the point standing, it's very. India will play whoever comes forth, and South Africa will play Australia. It will work out that way.
Well, just is my thing. I will just like to ask the question: who you think will meet Australia in the finals? Let me speak.
Quickly, we only have a 2 minutes.
Let me speak in reference to what we witnessed today, which was tremendous
Definitely.
execution of batsmanship at its very best. When a team had to win, and you're talking about a record, because they had to score the highest total, chase the highest total today on this particular ground to win this match. Australia was on the back foot at 91-7.
And stick up in there, Eustace, because the projection of who would win, at one point it was 99% saying that Afghanistan, 1% Australia. And then it reached all the way up until it wally-gwall, and then Australia went ahead.
Yeah, because after they let,
10 seconds.
Inexperienced team went on to score 291, which was a very, very good score. And then they had Australia really on the back foot. And
they didn't capitalize.
They really needed, to apply themselves and do a lot more thinking and a lot more, positive things.
According to Sly, they panicked.
But
5 seconds.
I will say that we just need to commend and congratulate, Maxwell, because you're talking about he is the highest Australian, the first Australian to score a double 100.
Correct.
The highest score before, which was Watson 185, and you're talking about, scoring 202 runs.
Not out.
Not with 201 in just about 128 deliveries. He brought up his century with 76 deliveries, and also you look at it where you had a total of 202, and he scored 189, and the captain scored only 12. But it was an excellent partnership and took Australia across the finishing line. And I definitely really wish that we had more time to expound, because so much more that I had to say.
But gentlemen, who will beat Australia in the finals?
Well, I have a different take. New Zealand will play against South Africa in the finals.
Interesting.
I agree with you. That was my call.
New Zealand, South Africa.
I'm thinking India is going to beat Australia in the finals.
Okay. Well, India is due a bad game. They have
you're so correct. And remembering Pakistan in the World Cup sometime back, and they clean up everybody up to the semi-finals, and the finals they just didn't show up.
Even in the CPL,
we can remember in the last World Cup, India was doing this very same thing until the semi-finals.
And they're going to choke.
But they're at home, so
we have a bit of chokers in this final four.
Yes.
Anyway, Novel, Percy, Sly, Jace, and Eustace, I thank you very much for being with us here on the ball. And time got the better of us, really slipped out. We have so much we could talk about cricket, but I thank you nonetheless for sharing your experiences and your views. And it was indeed, I found it a very educational, interesting program. We touched quite a few topics, and the World Cup, a month thereabout. We still have a little bit to go, a few more games, and West Indies not being there, the likes of Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Netherlands being there ahead of the West Indies. First time we've missed it, and we'll never hear the end of it. But nonetheless, I thank everybody for listening and tuning in, and thank our sponsors, Kai and Jet, for coming on board and sponsoring us. It's all about the private jet terminal at the RLB International Airport, effortless airport security. I'm Troy Biff Mills, and I thank you and invite you to tune in again next week, Tuesday, at 7 p.m. for another edition of On the Ball. And as we leave you, we say, always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you very much. Have a good night.